Then negative self-talk permeates our consciousness, often emerging as a relentless stream of critical thoughts and judgments rooted in our past experiences, fears, and insecurities. Then this internal dialogue can exert a profound influence on our emotions, behaviors, and self-perception. Then it operates as a self-perpetuating cycle, reinforcing negative beliefs and undermining our confidence and well-being, whether it manifests as self-doubt, self-blame, or self-criticism. Then negative self-talk distorts our perception of reality, leading us to view ourselves and our circumstances through a lens of unworthiness or inadequacy. Then, moreover, negative self-talk is not confined to isolated incidents, but rather forms part of a larger narrative constructed by our minds. Then, these narratives, often shaped by societal norms, cultural expectations, and personal experiences, contribute to the formation of our self-concept and identity. Consequentially, negative self-talk can become deeply ingrained, permeating our thoughts and influencing our interactions with the world. Then recognizing the pervasive nature of negative self-talk is essential for addressing its impact and initiating the journey towards self-transformation and empowerment. Then, by understanding the roots and dynamics of negative self-talk, we gain insight into its hold over our psyche and lay the groundwork for developing strategies to counter its influence. Then awareness serves as a potent catalyst for disrupting the cycle of negative self-talk and fostering personal growth. Then imagine you're walking through a crowded street, lost in thought about past regrets or future worries. Then suddenly you pause and realize the incessant chatter in your mind, the constant barrage of self-critical thoughts that color your perception of yourself and the world around you. Then, in that moment of awareness, you begin to recognize the insidious nature of negative self-talk and how it undermines your confidence and distorts your reality. This moment of clarity marks the first step towards liberation from the grip of negative self-talk. By acknowledging the presence of this internal dialogue, you reclaim agency over your thoughts and emotions rather than allowing yourself to be swept away by the tide of negativity. Then you become conscious. Then, as an observer of your inner landscape, you start to discern the patterns and triggers of your self-talk, identifying recurring themes or situations that elicit feelings of inadequacy or self-doubt. Then, you develop the ability to observe your thoughts without judgment or attachment. Then, as you cultivate mindfulness in your daily life, you become attuned to the subtle fluctuations of your inner dialogue. Then, by recognizing when negative self-talk arises and its impact on your mood and behavior through practices such as meditation, journaling, or mindfulness exercises, you hone your ability to anchor yourself in the present moment, free from the grip of past regrets or future anxieties. Then, with each moment of awareness, you loosen the hold of negative self-talk on your psyche, then paving the way for greater self-compassion and resilience. Negative self-talk operates as a subtle yet pervasive form of self-hypnosis, ensnaring us in a web of conditioned thinking and distorted perceptions. Friedner once remarked that we are all better provided for than we think, but we are not good enough. Improvisid advisors in the art of life. This quoti encapsulates the essence of negative self-talk. Then allure like skilled actors, we become adept at playing out the roles assigned to us by society, culture, and our own inner narratives. Then these roles define our sense of self and shape our interactions with the world, often leading to a sense of inadequacy or disillusionment. Then the language we use to communicate with ourselves and others plays a pivotal role in perpetuating negative self-talk. Then from childhood, we are bombarded with societal expectations and cultural norms that dictate what is deemed acceptable or worthy. Then language constructs become deeply embedded in our psyches, shaping our self-concept and influencing our actions. Then, as nature astutely observed, we are not good enough improvisers in the art of life, often defaulting to familiar scripts and narratives that reinforce feelings of unworthiness or self-doubt. Furthermore, the hypnotic nature of self-talk is compounded by the endless stream of thoughts and images that populate our minds. We become entranced by the stories we tell ourselves, the narratives that reaffirm our sense of identity and purpose. These stories, whether positive or negative, exert a powerful influence on our emotions, behaviors, and perceptions. Breaking free from this hypnotic trance requires a concerted effort to cultivate awareness and discernment. Then, by questioning the validity of our self-talk and challenging the assumptions underlying it, we begin to unravel the threads of conditioned thinking that bind us. Then, in doing so, we reclaim agency over our minds and pave the way for a more authentic and empowered way of being in order to stop negative self-talk. Then, we must embrace the process of awakening to our true nature. Then, as we recognize the hypnotic grip of conditioned thinking and the limitations imposed by societal constructs, we open ourselves to the possibility of a deeper understanding of ourselves. Then awakening is not a sudden epiphany, but rather a gradual unfolding of consciousness, characterized by moments of clarity and insight. It is a journey of self-discovery, wherein we peel back the layers of conditioning to reveal the essence of our being. In the awakening process, we come to realize that we are more than the sum of our thoughts and identities. We transcend the confines of negative self-talk by shifting our perspective from the mind's constructs to the boundless expanse of awareness. This shift requires a willingness to let go of entrenched beliefs and embrace the inherent freedom of being. We experience profound peace and freedom when we cultivate a deeper connection with our innermost essence. Then, awakening is not about escaping the challenges of life, but rather facing them with clarity, resilience, and authenticity. During this journey of self-empowerment, we reclaim our inherent worth while embracing our full potential. In our quest to stop negative self-talk and awaken, we inevitably encounter resistance to change. Society's conditioning and personal experiences reinforce deeply ingrained patterns of thought and behavior. Just as a river carves its path through the landscape, our minds carve neural pathways based on repeated thoughts and actions, making it challenging to deviate from familiar patterns. However, overcoming resistance to change is essential for liberating ourselves from the grip of negative self-talk and stepping into a more empowered way of being. Therapists often encounter resistance in their clients as individuals cling to the comfort of familiar narratives and identities. Then the fear of the unknown and the perceived threat to our sense of self can trigger defensive mechanisms that hinder our ability to embrace change, yet it is precisely through confronting this resistance that true transformation occurs. By acknowledging and exploring the underlying fears and insecurities driving our resistance, we create space for growth and self-discovery. Overcoming resistance to change is not about eradicating negative self-talk altogether, but rather learning to navigate it with greater awareness and resilience. Then, through patience, compassion, and a willingness to embrace discomfort, we can dismantle the barriers that stand in the way of our personal evolution. Then, as we work on overcoming negative self-talk, we are gradually able to realize that our suffering is largely caused by the illusion of identity that we construct in our minds. This illusion is proven by the fabric of societal norms, cultural conditioning, and personal narratives that shape our perception of ourselves and others. However, as we delve deeper into the nature of our thoughts and emotions and begin to unravel the threads of this illusion, we come to recognize that our sense of identity is not fixed, but rather fluid and ever-changing. Negative self-talk thrives on perpetuating the illusion of a separate and fragmented self, reinforcing the belief that we are defined by our thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Yet, as we cultivate mindfulness and self-awareness, we penetrate through the veil of illusion and glimpse the truth of our interconnectedness with all beings. We are liberated when we recognize our ego's limitations and embrace a more expansive sense of self. Then we realize that our worth is not contingent upon external validation or achievement, but is inherent in our very existence. Then, moreover, as we deepen our understanding of the illusion of identity, we come to appreciate the impermanent nature of our thoughts and emotions. Then negative self-talk loses its power over us as we recognize it for what it is, transient phenomena arising within the vast expanse of awareness. Then, rather than identifying with our thoughts, we learn to observe them with detachedness, allowing them to arise and dissolve without clinging or aversion. In doing so, we reclaim sovereignty over our inner world and cultivate a sense of inner peace and equanimity. Recognizing the illusion of identity is a profound step towards stopping negative self-talk and embracing the fullness of our being. Now that you've gained insights into the nature of negative self-talk and the illusion of identity, it's time to explore practical strategies for stopping its grip on your life. Then cultivating a mindful presence is key to this endeavor.